We are now at the number 9 Coal Mine and Museum in Lansford, Pennsylvania. Adam Taruska here again. And we are going to start off by checking out this old engine here. Look at the size of this thing. It's huge. For what its purpose was, this is quite a sight. Look at this. This is cool. You can see the different colors of paint. That is cool. This is where the coal would go.
Yeah, I just want to get a shot or two.
Nice shot of the pin for hooking up. Yeah. Sorry.
Cue in the crying game. Come on, Becky, get the shot too.
Controls.
This one moves a little bit. Right over there.
The way it would probably be is this piece here would be hooked up in here, and then when they bring this up, they can bring the lever out. It comes down on this track, and then it helps make the engine move. That would be my guess anyway. I believe that one would regulate power for the steam to go in which direction. Possibility. There's a sign, gives you a little bit of the renaissance of the location. There's a fermenter, so you guys have a chance to read it. We're going to move on the camera. Alright, let's go see about getting inside, see what's going on. Let's try this without the lens cap on. You can see a car here with coal in it. And up there on the wall, you can see a nice mural of a train. Go ahead, dude. We're in the museum for the number 9 coal mine. You even have a book tonight. Here's a picture of the Lansford Colliery for number 6 breaker. pictures, lots of memorabilia from days gone by. The miners' uniform clothes. Miners on calcium carbide. Gas forms if contents become wet. More products used. Photos from when they're mining. Back up this picture. Big chunk of coal right there. Still hats. Used with some of the lamps that were used. So it said naked lights forbidden. And it says something else in another language I'm not familiar with. Probably the same thing. Lighter sunshine. This is 1 pound of one type of fuel used by the wicked open flame lamp. Or sunshine lamp. Miners bought this at the company store. Detonators. Blaster's handbook. Different types of explosives. This is what they use to haul their lunch into the mines. the detail model. Little pole whip that was used to make the animals work. Used to protect Mule's head from overhead dangers. This is a leather mule hat. Breaker model. Okay, quick view of these, and we're headed over to
on the outside, I could always try to just like Google and feel what, you know what I mean? I'll get you an answer. But anyhow, I just want to mention that within the mine, it's approximately 50 degrees in there today. There is a little bit of drip of water from spot to spot. Most of us have jackets, but if we want to take like an extra jacket just to put over your shoulders, you know what I mean, to keep that water from dripping on you, feel free. There's hard hats in here also that you can wear for your convenience and comfort, safety. Some taller people like myself, there's a little bit clearance on one or two spots in there, but most average height people don't have anything to worry about. So at that particular point, we're going to take a slow walk down on the platform. My vision says that there's like 2 people pulling in a parking lot now. There's always 2 people pulling in a parking lot. As they leave here to walk down to the platform, they'll catch up. Okay.
And now we're off to the number 9 mine.
You're taking over now? Tell me to hold it.
We're outside right now, and RJ's being funny as usual.
There's the portal over there, 1855, 1935.
That's our portal. That's where we're going into. Sorry for the bounciness of the camera. And of course, it's the mine train boarding area. Stand back from the track. 1768 to 2018.
Again, folks, welcome to the number 9 mine. My name is John. I'll be your tour guide. A little about the tour here, a little touch on safety. We're going to get onto the car here. We're going to take a ride within the mine, approximately 1,600 feet, a little over a quarter mile. At that particular part, you'll be, at that particular point, you'll be about a little more than 200 feet below the surface of the ground. We'll be leaving these cars behind and going for about a 600-foot, approximately 600-foot walk about within the mine to several locations where I'll be explaining some of the workings within the mine during the time frame. I just want to mention that there is low lighting within the mine, a little bit more authentic for the events that usually take place in there. There is a drip of water from spot to spot. The floor is wet and damp, but it is not slippery, it's a gravel floor. I do want to mention to anybody, if you touch anything, you're gonna get the blackout from the cold dirt on you. It's a free souvenir, take it home with you and enjoy it. Not, you know what I mean, like most people, like what your mother used to tell you, maybe keep your hands in your pocket, but that's, you know, I'm not saying that. But anyhow, other than that, it's, like I say, it's 50 degrees in here, so it's gonna be a little bit warmer than out here. So, hopefully you enjoy it. I'll collect your tickets, we're gonna take a nice slow ride in there. All you have to do is you just have to watch your head, all people watch your beats around. Find a comfortable seat, if there is such a thing. Thank you. That's good, you got all of that. Somebody has to be a leader, right?
Front or back, guys?
Either way.
Doesn't it fit in here? Yeah, it should. Usually holds 15, so I think I'll make it well.
I got cramped in here in the first car. They're gonna charge you for the helmet.
That's all right.
I just want to mention as we're pulling out and going in, the two dates on the mine, on the portal are 1855. That's 6 years before the Civil War started. The gold rush is going on out in California yet. The Crimea War is going on over in Europe yet with the Russians and the Ukrainians and the Turks, like they still are doing, you know, still today. The 14th President of the United States, Franklin Pierce, 35 states, and a couple territories. So that's about where we were with the country. Second date on there, 1931, that's when they modernized it. Prior to that date, it was steam power within the plant. It was steam power for the pumps, the hoists, such like that. 31, they put electricity into the mine, so it was converted over to electricity. Like this modern baby that we're going to go in on, you know, it's battery powered, so you know it's brand new and modern. Finally. We'll get there.
And in the mine we go.
Welcome, folks. These are officially in a real live anthracite coal mine. This is the oldest rural mine, anthracite mine, basically in the world, at 164 years of age.
God, somebody left the pocket book. Thank you.
Okay, so anyhow, it's, the age of the mine here has been in operation for, like I was saying, it started in 1855, it ceased operation here as a working mine in 1972, but it's still portable yet. One of the few remaining yet, like in the country, you could tour. It's hard to notice that this mine here, this tunnel here, is a drift tunnel. Its elevation is 8 foot higher at this elevation than it is on the outside. It's two reasons. Water could drain from this level and the lower levels within the mine out from this level, so they would pump water from the lower levels of the mine to this level, and then gravity would feed it out. The second reason was the power mode of transportation at the time was actually mule power. So the mules could pull a full coal car downhill at that slight grade over that distance, and a full car, you know, so it's basically full car downhill, empty car uphill. So what we'll do is we'll continue on up this way, we'll start walking forward.
Looks like one of the old coal cars.
This area of mine is called Goat Devil. You can picture like the set of tracks that we rode in on was the original set of tracks. Within that set of tracks is a smaller set. This is a small dolly that sits in here on the ground. this little dolly here would actually come out and run on the center tracks. It would go down to the shaft, which is down over my right shoulder down that direction, the two shafts. And what it would do is when the full coal cars would come up the elevator system to this level, they would hook this little dolly system to it and it would pull out those full coal cars up into this location. This location, they would hook a mule up to it and the mule would carry it, drag it out, downhill out to the breaker. At one time, this was a steam-driven power, like I said, in the 1855 time frame. It was converted over to electricity around the 1931 time era. So and that's what the operator did. This was here. These tunnels within this mine here basically go for miles and miles because if you take the extent of the tunnels here, we're taking gold out of here.
Yeah, I see that.
Walk stuff like that. Over a road, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, look up. Where the place in roads.
We're gonna split up, gang. Promise. And then you got to go down the ladder.
Actually a little bit cooler outside with the air blowing. It's a little bit more comfortable in here than outside. But it's 50 degrees actually in January when it's 0 and first so it's a constant temperature. You go to lower levels within the mine, it actually gets warmer because for some bump factors, which I'm going to say is that you're actually getting closer to the center of the earth, which is one thing, but second has to do with the compression factor of the rock. The gravity is actually thermal. Actually, ground is actually warmer than the deep that we built. The structures on this side is of this block building. There's one on the opposite side also. In its time frame, they were used as repair shops and maintenance shops at different times over the long history that it had. The tooling that they used was basically all simple hand tools. It's kind of like how they built the pyramid, with a hammer and a chisel, and that's how you punch your holes into this because guess what, you had a little bit of steam power with no electricity for rotating machinery or equipment. So basically all the repairs were done here. Anything from the lower levels of the mine were brought up to this level for repairs. The shaft system that's here, if you look at the timbers that are within the walls, it's all exposed walls, so old rock can come tumbling down at any time. It's an old structure, old timbers like they used to build the sailing ships back in the olden days when they used to sail the ships across the sea. We're approximately 200 feet below the surface right now. I just want to mention that you're on level 1. 200 feet below us is level 2. 200 feet below us, that level is level 3. 200 feet again is level 4. So there's 4 levels within the mine. Total distance from the surface to the bottom is like 1,000 feet. So the Empire State Building, I think it's around like 1,150 feet or so. The Eiffel Tower is about 950 feet. So I'm just giving you some comparisons for how deep this mine goes to some structures that are on the surface. But up on the surface where I have my light shining here, up on the left side here, is the head frame that has 2 large sheaves on it, which these the wire cables and ropes came down and attached to the platform cars that were here. That was steam powered up there on the surface also. There was a drum roller system, an operator sat up there. You can picture an old elevator with the 2 white pointers or possibly a hand on your watch, like 1 through 4. That's how they would indicate which level these platforms were at. In the beginning, there was no electricity for communications to the surface, so they would use steam blast. 1 steam blast for shaft number 1, or 2 blasts for shaft number 2, and short blast, for bringing it up or down. It was a very simple system that they used for, because there's no local means of communication with them. So, as you can picture that these platforms were like up and down, and if you notice, like I'm saying again, the open structure of these, there's bonnets placed on the top where I have my light shining. These bonnets were there for safety factors, and you can see there's handholds underneath them, similar to what the subway system in New York or San Francisco and any transportation, the handle to hang on to as you're traveling up and down. Which I would want to say though is, that with it being the open system, it's not like riding in a modern elevator where you're in your little cab here, you don't even know you're moving, you say, oh, yep, I think we stopped, you know what I mean, and the door's open. These here, if you came in contact with the sidewalls, as you were moving, you had a problem, you know what I mean, a big problem. And you could picture, one of these cars all the way, platforms all the way down to the 4th level, and they're bringing one up from the 4th level adjacent to it, you know, the smooth ride that we had in here, and the coal being, you know, thrown into the cars, you know, little herky-jerky, and you can just imagine how smooth it is with these old cable systems. You know, the stuff was getting bounced around, that some material would fall down the secondary shaft, that's how these are damaged from the top, just, you know, picture the rocks falling down, hitting, you know what I mean? You go down 600 feet, it does pick up a little bit of speed, after you get to 32 feet, you know, she's going pretty good. So anyhow, these platforms have been sitting here stationary. They didn't work at lower levels of this mine, still production up through 1960. In 1960, they stopped production up to the deeper levels within the mine. To 1972. These platforms have been stationary since 60. 1972, the mine actually stopped operations on a production level. In that year, people are familiar with the Hurricane Agnes in this area. Some people not familiar with that, I'll try to use in recent times, the hurricane in New Orleans, where New Orleans got flooded. Hurricane sat there spinning for a couple of days. You know, this area here got hit with a Hurricane Agnes in June of 1972. Something like 32 to 35 inches of rain. So Tamaulipas, which is 4 miles west of us, got flooded out. The Susquehanna River Valley got flooded out, and this mine actually got flooded out, which was enough to close the production. You know, more water was entered the mine, and they could pump out some of the cars that they had in here, got, you know, carried out of the mine basically with the storm water. And that's what's caused the production stoppage. So, but from over here on the point, folks, since like 1960, they stopped pumping water out of the mine. So the water did fill in some areas of the mine. So the 4th level is underwater. The 3rd level is underwater. In fact, the water level is approximately 50 feet above the 3rd level. From a point over here on the side, you'll be able to take a look down over the side. We have a light shining on it down there. You'll be looking down 25 stories to see what the natural water table is within this mountain now. So anything that you have in your hands, especially I see some people with some equipment that's worth more than $1.50, I would say. You know what I mean? So if you have anything that you don't want to lose, I'll give it the old death grip, because if something does fall over the side, thank you for the donation to the museum. There's no way of retrieving it. Okay? So,
The lower level, is this the only way to access them? Or is there other portals for those?
yes. There's actually 3 shaft systems within the mine. This is a haul shaft. This is basically for hauling materials up and down. There's a utility shaft, which is deeper in the mine over in the other tunnel. That's where they would pump the water from the lower levels, from the pump stations on level 2 and level 3. They would pump out water up to this level to have it drain out. They'd actually run steam lines down, electricity lines would be taken down later at a later date. And then you have an air shaft system in here. But actually the workers, there's emergency access cuts in here, tunnels, getting from level to level. We'll show you once we get on the other side. It's actually a mule way over there, and I'll explain how the miners actually used to work. This being a haul shaft was basically used for hauling, I'm saying, coal. The miners, as being production type people, you know what I mean, production type people in a lot of organizations aren't just treated as well as the CEO at the top. You know what I mean? Here, if you can think about it historically in the time frame, there's no ancient ruins or the big parking lots outside. Everybody that worked here lived within 2 miles of this place. You got up in the morning, you walked to work, you walked into the mine, you did your job, and at the end of the day, you walked home. Because, you know, the only thing outside, there was a stable out there. The stable was out there for 2 reasons. One, the mules from within the mine, it's that place for them to go. And 2, the workers used to walk to work, but the horse, the bosses, the big chiefs, I would say, the bosses, they would always ride to work. They had the means for transportation. They always would come on horseback, and they always had to get the horses. They always seemed to find horses with long-legged horses, so they could ride in on their high horses. That's the way they used to always work. Still does, I guess, in a lot of the people. So I'll show you an area here levels of the mine. This goes in a little short distance here, but then it drops down at about a 40-degree angle for 150 feet. Just if you look at a parking structure in any of the cities, like parking decks, you know, it drops down at a 40-degree angle for about 150 feet. There's a turnaround at that point where you could take that large animal like that mule, get them to spin around, and now take them back down again, 40 degrees for another 150 feet. And now that would get you down to the second level. These are cut throughout the mine at different locations because for every so far in mileage that you will go into a mine, they had to cut one in so miners could get out. You never knew when you're going to hit water, gas explosions, or a cave in or something like that where you had to exit the mine in a hurry. So, and what they did is they got the coal out of this this vein here as they were doing. Of these 7 veins of coal, I don't know if anybody's familiar with the area, but I did hear somebody say that they just got off the turnpike down by Lehighton, and they had to come through Jim Thorpe. So Jim Thorpe's about 9 miles in that direction. So if I'm in Jim Thorpe and now I turn around and face this direction, my back's at Jim Thorpe, to Upper Dauphin County, above our state capital, Harrisburg, 60 miles. That's how far these coal veins run, from Jim Thorpe down to Upper Dauphin County. It's 60 miles. If you look at a piece of cake, a slice of pizza, or such, if you go from Jim Thorpe up to Wilkes-Barre, and you take that like on an angle down towards that Harrisburg area, that's about the 425 square miles, which encompass the anthracite coal fields here in northeastern Pennsylvania. Okay, so these coal veins, the reason they discovered them, they're called outcroppings. These veins of coal back in 1793, there were the guys up on top of the mountain over here hunting or cutting wood or whatever that they were doing. You know how you make the fire rings with stones around where you burn the fire outside so it doesn't grow. And so this guy made a fire out of some rocks on the surface, and all of a sudden he wakes up and says, "What the heck? The rocks are burning." You know what I mean? And that's how they discovered coal. You know what I mean? It's that eureka moment. You know what I mean? You know, the guy sat in the bathtub. But anyhow, regardless, that's how they discovered coal on the surface. They dug on the surface down to a certain depth with the tools that they had. They pick some shovels and trying to get water out of the pits that they were digging. And then they figured out that they had to dig a tunnel in through here to access the deeper veins of coal. These veins here from this mountain ridge on my left to the mountain ridge on my right, which would be Summit Hill and the mountain here between like Lansford and where Nesquehoning or Lake Honda would be. This valley runs about 2 to 3 miles across. These veins of coal run from the surface down, approximately 2,000 feet below the surface, make a spin up and come up on the other mountain ridge. So that's how they discovered how much coal's here. You need to get on the other side. Talk a little bit about the timber. Timbers within the mine here, overhead are the support. In the main tunnel where you are, they use a roof lag. They would go up and put lags up in there, and you don't mean to keep the rock from falling. Coal being a different structure, they would put wood beams across as they're going across to support the roof. It was for 2 reasons. One, it was support the roof, and second, it was an early warning system. If they're working a vein of coal, and as they were putting timbers in every so often, they put another timber in, they dig deeper, put another timber in, as they were going. It's an early warning system. If they heard any rocks slipping or moving, and you heard the timber starting to crack, they would say, "Oh, you know, it's time to get out of here. The rocks are moving. I'm getting a load on some of these timbers. I'm backing out in a hurry." So that's why they put timbers in certain areas and not in others. If you follow me this way, folks, we're going to go over to the other tunnel. To take a look up in here. This is called the Holmes vein, and if you look off the edge of that black hose, you can get some kind of an idea about how far it goes up, and I'm just saying it goes, and it goes. So anybody wants my flashlight to take a look up in there, feel free. Now I'm just going to talk about, this is called this is what is a normal working. A miner and his helper would be at this location to start his day. You would crawl up in there, and you would take your drill, and you would start to drill 8 or 10 or 12 holes into that coal, that big section of coal that's up in there. So you would drill your holes up in there, and then what you would do is you would actually start packing them with black powder. The dynamite wasn't invented yet. So you pack it with dynamite, you would run your fuses together, or you run your fuses down to a safe area, which there's no such thing in a working coal mine, a safe area. So now you would yell fire in each direction up each of these tubes that was here. Now from the light that's lit, the open flame on your cap, you would light the fuse. And that's how the fuse would go up in there, and now you would have a little bit of an explosion, you know, to blast that rock out. If you could picture anybody that's seen any movies from the Civil War era where those cannons would go off, or those muskets from that Civil War, any black powder guns, the amount of smoke that these things generate. You know what I mean? And you're down here, and now like there's like no air, and you're in a tunnel of you're in a barrel of a gun basically as it goes off. So the only thing that the miners had to do to keep the dust down, they would use like red bandanas like the old bandits would do. They would keep that over their face, or possibly they would be using some chew tobacco to like try and keep the dust and levels down from them inhaling them and swallowing them. So what they would do is they would drill up in there, set off a blast. If I should say, when that was done a little bit later, like 40 years later, they invented the dynamite. It was the same process. What miners did was a simple job. You drill holes in something, you put explosive into the holes, you set the charge off, clean up that mess, and now you keep on digging. That's what they did. So they actually preferred dynamite. It had a lot more force behind it. Same deal. You would drill your holes. You would put 4 or 5 sticks of dynamite in there. Electric blasting caps were a lot safer. You know, you come down, you would run fire in each direction and then set the charge off and have that explosion. Once that explosion took place, that material would come down into a place called the battery. That was a holding area up within that area that's there. The mule boy would bring that coal car over, the empty car over to this location. You would pull up, slide a piece of wood out, board out there, and that material would come down out of the battery, and you're actually loading your coal car at that time. If the car got full, you shoved a piece of wood across it, and you were done. So the mule boy would take the full car out, bring you an empty one back in. Now, if you have to picture yourself going up in there after that explosion, you're going up in there, there's stuff going to be scattered all over the place. So you're as a miner, you're removing materials. You're taking that, throwing that into the battery, and you're working your way up into where you set your charge off. You have to remember that when you set your charge off your explosive, you've already aerated to like that natural gas, methane gas. So you're going to crawl up in there with your little Davy's lantern and the light that's lit on top of your hat, you know, open flame to see if there's gas up in there. I'm just saying how it will work. Now you're going to crawl up in an area like that. Now you're going to remove any loose rock that's still back from that blast area. There's the loose stuff that's still hanging up there. Now you're going to remove all of that stuff down, throw that down into the battery. That's what your job is, to remove coal. So it was a very dangerous job. We're going to walk down to the hospital now because that's where a lot of people are headed out. This trench that's on my right hand side here, that's the trench that's the water we drained out of.
Jeez. You good? That's funny. Look at the drainage out here.
So the holes that we drill, we just stick the dynamite in.
Is there anybody that would be concerned if I shut the lights off within the mine for a second or two? To show you a little bit more realistically what the working conditions are like.
Okay, no problem with that.
Okay, I have my light on my thing, I have one here. If anybody's just, if it bothers you, just let me know and I'll gladly turn the lights back on. Just for a couple seconds. Okay, now, what I just, will just give your eyes a second or two to adjust to nothing. So, what I wanna do is, if I shine my light down that way, you can see about 100 or so feet. I just want to mention to people that this light here is a modern light. This is a lot more light intensity to what you will get from one candle power, what the miner's castle would be. Can you imagine yourself as a 12-year-old boy leading a mule through the mines with this much light on top of your head? Could you imagine yourself as the miners crawling up in those holes down there after you set off a dynamite charge to go up there and remove loose rock with this amount of lighting, you know, with the way your footing and such would be? I'm just trying to mention that there's like, at its heyday, there's about 250 miners working within this entire mine system here, so that's about the amount of light that you had, each and every miner, and that's, was the condition. I'm gonna turn the lights back on.
Let there be light. Hey, where's my wallet?
Came out cocky.
So what I would like to say is if a miner was working back there in the earliest times that he got injured, and it was, you could see how easy it could be, easy to get, you know, cut with a rock falling on you or you know, across your arm. If you were injured in the earliest days, you sat at that location. They did not stop production. They did not send anybody into the room to get anything until the end of the shift. Whole worker might take a piece of his shirt, your shirt, to make a bandage, a sling, or a splints, because that's about the medical system that they had at the time. So around 1890, they came out with the miners were tired of the conditions in the mines themselves, so they started the United Mine Workers Union. That union was looking for basically better working conditions, a structured work week, and you know better pay, safety, you know, some basically simple things. So what they did over time, because a normal year, approximately like 400 miners were being killed within the mines of the northeast of Pennsylvania every year.
Mushrooms.
They had actually a small wooden structure.
Is that what they are?
Look, yes, it is. That's what they are.
This was a nice white building in here. There was actually electricity in it. They had Dr. Young, who was a physician on
All the moisture.
He formed the mine safety, rescue team, and three other workers in first aid within the mine here itself. So, and that was what they did. If anybody, I see some people were wandering back in here to my left. I know they were looking, but they didn't know what they were looking at, so I'm just going to explain it. From this steel wrought iron fencing here back in there where the timbers are laying, that's called a mine cave in. That the mine collapsed back in there. So I just wanted to, you know, so people have, if they, you know, if they filmed it, they know what they were talking about. That's what a mine collapse looks like. These two tunnels are parallel, and if you notice when I had the lights up, there's a little bit of light down there, that's where the exit is. Okay, folks, so what I'd like to explain it is right here where I'm standing at, is this here is another one of those 7 mineable veins of. This here is called the Primrose vein. Back there was the home vein. This here is the Primrose vein. This is about 10.5 foot thick. They removed the pole out of this when they connected that tunnel to that tunnel on the other side, which we're going to be heading to. They removed the pole out of this. This seam of coal runs to the surface and actually, you know, dips down, comes up on the other side of the valley. There's other veins here. There's the Orchard vein, the 40-foot vein, and the Mammoth vein. The Mammoth vein within the confines of this mine here runs about 25 feet thick. So we're going to cut across this way. Some people were asking me if they could see some actual coal. And over here, above my left shoulder, up in this section here, where I have my light shining, if you look at that, that's like one solid piece of coal. Anthracite coal. Again, across this other beam that's here, there's another solid piece of anthracite coal. That's what they were mining out. And if you look up in this section here, folks, this is what I call a rough cut 2-foot square hole. That goes up about 80 feet. That's another workings up there. What they did is they went up 80 feet above this tunnel. There's a parallel tunnel up above us here where they dug the coal out of that also. So they would shimmy up in there in what they call like the chicken ladders. And they would start mining the coal off, bring it back, drop it down through these holes into a waiting coal car. And That's what it's called, that's what miners did. It's a little bit, it's a job that I wouldn't want to throw up in there.
Right. So this is the pool over here.
That's incredible.
It goes way up there. 80 feet.
That's insane.
We can climb up there.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
So I want to mention to everybody now what we did is we just did a little bit of a walk around in the square, which is back where we started from. I just still want to mention that within this mine yet, or I should say within northeastern Pennsylvania, that there's 10 deep mines still being worked. There's 23 surface mines still yet in Pennsylvania. Anthracite coal, even though it gets a bad image on the TV every night about coal being what coal is, I believe there's one anthracite coal power plant still working, burning coal yet. Anthracite coal in this area still is used as home heating for like a lot of people. 1 ton of coal is about a 3-foot cube. That's one ton of coal weight by volume. So 1 ton of coal has the equivalent of about 200 gallons of home heating oil, 180 to 200 gallons of home heating oil. So it's $170 versus whatever heating oil goes for. $2.50 a gallon, $2.60 a gallon maybe. I don't know for sure. But coal is still used. It's used in pharmaceuticals. They put it in water filters. They use it for making like titanium dioxide, which is the white and white paint. They use it in making high-grade carbon steel, which is rigid structural type steel that they use it for. And I guess the coal in this mine is about 94% pure carbon. Some ladies might have something that's 99% pure carbon on their finger, but it costs a lot more, per carat than what a ton of coal is. That's how that works. And like I'm saying, 94%, at least 6% other materials. There's some iron in it. This is low sulfur coal, but what they're discovering now is within the coal is there's those rare earth minerals which everybody's looking for to put in these things to make them work. So even though coal has a bad image presently in some areas of the world, until that you need it to make something work. I hate it, but now I love it. It's just how the world works. So folks, that's what my tour is. What I would say is a mining operation across the street is one of those surface mines. Even though they've been digging coal out of here basically for hundreds of years, I could say that easily. The organization across the street is Lehigh Anthracite. They run open pit mining. And they claim off of their website, you can look up yourself, that they have 300 million ton of recoverable anthracite coal yet. So for as long as they've been digging it, there's still a lot more to dig. If they need it, it's all. Folks, I hope you enjoyed your tour. Or charge your way today.
There you have it. The number 9 coal mine tour in Lansford, Pennsylvania. This is an incredible, educational, and enjoyable time. I hope you enjoyed your time with me here, and I'll see you again soon. Back on here again. We have a tour train, steam powered, and we just learned that this one, at the end of the month, is going to a non-profit location in Columbus, Ohio. That is awesome. The wood for the tracks. See it on a cart. How old this one is. There's so many. more rail steel. And check out these old rigs. You can imagine how long they've been underwater. You can see they've been underwater for a long time. The acidity of the mines, especially ones that were flooded. It's just mind-boggling. Work area here.
Yeah, there's stairs. Right there, right behind the bookcases.
Ah, okay, yeah, there's the stairs. Old stove here. Again, thanks to Mike from Good Day for the Kitty for his assistance with the lights. Low-hanging ceiling. Hang on, I got a newspaper. Thursday, October 10th, 1996. The Standard Speaker. Making sure the floor is solid. Where some of these time cards would have been. National Ready Mix Concrete Association. And so this is for concrete making. These floors look soft in here. I wouldn't go in here. There's a respirator. So we have a 1996 newspaper and a 1996 paper shop. Careful in here because the floor looks like it might be soft in here, so we don't want to go any farther in here. Okay. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that crazy?
Credit card?
What's that? Is that right? Oh, there it is, yes.
There's a ceramic top cabinet over here too. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Some lockers back in the corner. Over there.
Right?
Nice windows.
Yeah.
And you got some of the malls there.
This is a closet. Oh, it is a staircase. My mistake. It looks like it, yeah. He's checking them right now.
I'll be the test dummy.
Well, I did the first set.
Just an attic. There's nothing up here.
No?
But you can see the chute.
Oh, you can see the chute?
The chute, yeah, you can actually get right out to it. Steps are good.
Steps are good.
Some flashlight light that we got. Should have brought the light.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oof.
it's like an attic.
Yeah, I've banged my head. Nothing new for me.
Don't step out there though.
I wouldn't. That looks too sketchy. I wouldn't.
Don't go out there. Don't do it.
Don't do it, RJ. Don't do
Watch
it.
too near your feet, because there are
Yeah.
I don't know if you got. So this is like an attic area. There's some water issues. Let me take a peek in here. Okay, don't step in there.
Yeah.
There's a ladder. Oh, look at that. Wow. It goes up kind of far too.
Yeah. Probably in case they jam the chute. If you can see outside, you don't want to step on
Yeah,
that.
I'm not going back out in there.
Yeah, me neither.
You need some light there.
Yeah.
That's still hooked to my
Oh.
camera.
Hold on to that. Let me get down
Yeah,
first.
hop down. I'll move behind you.
Excellent. Oh, yeah, I got a couple of steps. The other step. Oh, are you all right?
You did the same thing he did.
Yeah, I just did a little. Oh, look at that.
It wasn't bad except for that little button on your hat. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's when it gets. That's incredible. Whoa.
Quick shots, guys.
Oh, good. You're good.
You good?
I was just giving you light.
Thank you.
I
Good
wouldn't
stuff
walk
in there.
But definitely take a look around.
Yeah, that's not worth the safety.
Oh no no no, as the cat says in the video. Oh no no.
No, 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 no.
I won't. Yeah. Step till you get down there.
Thanks. Great exploration.
You don't have a railing here.
That would be a plus if it did.
It smells a little bit like this. It's a nice little door they got here. Right here on the door.
Calendar here, December
Housekeeping is continuous job. Continuous. Yeah, you want to check out upstairs. You check the chute out too. Up there.
Goes up higher?
One more
Yes.
floor. Just don't step in the river.
Watch your head when you get to the top.
Yes.
That's pretty neat.
Two of us already on control board.
Buttons for you to play with.
So there's some circuit boards down under you too, down here. There's a whole bunch of. Did you guys see that? There's computer circuit boards down on the floor under there. See them in that box? I guess this wasn't a smoke-free facility.
There's some diet iced tea 8-treat cans unopened in there.
Are there? Did you actually walk in there? You guys walk in there? Oh, it was the floor. How was the floor?
Yeah, there's lockers back in this corner.
Yeah.
Check out the chute there.
There's the actual bank. This is where the time card would have been.
There's $1,000 in there.
What's that?
Miners National Bank bag. There's $1,000 in it.
Yeah, right. So this is an old concrete distribution center. Very nice.
Giving it a little stamp.
Yeah. Inattention can get you in hot water.
Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for your payment for your 1995 membership dues. Enclose your membership card and your 1995 sticker. Ooh, Jersey
Nice.
Shore. That's Bikini Babe right there. It's probably not gonna go far on its set. The old mask there, that's pretty cool. I like the old soda can, or the old iced tea cans in there. Oh, what is it? 8-treat. 8-treat, yep. Yeah, those are collectibles. Pay at desk, soda, 50 cents. Pretty modern lockers, actually.
Yeah?
Those blue trees aren't
New old stock. Here's a respirator.
Yes, coffee pot. Pot stand.
We got coin wrappers.
Mike doing what Mike does best. That's right. That's how we find stuff. Somebody said they found a calendar too for everything. Yeah, everything points to 96. Calendar,
Paper
phone books,
Paper shop.
paper shop. Yeah, there's a paper shop there, 96. Any good buys? Ooh, look at that. Nice Monte Carlo, 1987. Hey, look at that. Rock Hill Materials. That might be the company name.
Yeah.
that is. Oh, okay.
Rock Hill Trucking Company.
Rock Hill Trucking Company. Let me say that again. Rock Hill Trucking Company. See if I can find any information on that. Yeah, so it looks like mid-90s was his last operation.
Catasauqua.
So, yeah. I saw it and I
Nice.
radio station license.
Good question.
It's a siren.
Is it an actual hole punch? Yeah, it's a hole puncher.
I didn't see those around anymore.
No.
97 insurance cards. Oop, there's a time clock. Got to punch in.
No, this works. How come you didn't punch in today? There's no time. There's no. Fuck.
There, Rock Hill delivery ticket vouchers. Everything's kind of left untouched. It's just kind of ransacked.
Yeah. What the heck is that?
That's a printer.
The moisture alert.
Oh yeah, the moisture thing. I think this is my favorite part here, though, the control board.
Yeah.
I have to help. Can't help myself. I gotta press the buttons.
Enjoy, enjoy.
Dusty. So when was the last time you saw a dictionary? Like I said, Mike does what he does best. Is it Webster's or is that just the generic? I don't know. It's in like a leather style case. It looks like a Bible.
It is Webster's.
Webster's.
The New World.
Is there a date?
71.
1971.
Wow.
Oh yeah, look at. Here's an image of their trucks. Concrete trucks. Cement trucks.
Mac.
So yeah, Rock Hill Materials was indeed concrete supply. Oh, someone pushed me backwards.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't check back there. Let me check here.
Anything good?
No, just some equipment. And it's all brand. Kind of underneath something here, like probably the came out of Allentown.
Huh.
Yeah, there's a few of them. Look at right here. Oh, just that? What does it say on it?
Rock Hill.
Oh, yeah, there's one here, one on the ground. Oh, it's actually a pretty old store.
That is. Huh?
Oh, is this
It's
yours?
not my business.
I don't see your name on it.
This is where I put things in the pile.
Is your
name Rock Hill?
Maybe. The one over there, it looks like if there wasn't vines all over it, you could actually probably walk up that thing.
Yeah. So there's like a
There's
steps
so
over
many
Yeah.
vines, it's like, I was like, there's no way.
there. Flock of birds.
But there is 2 chutes over there with the button pad.
Yeah, there's stone that comes in there because it's just stone
Take it
conveyor.
up there, jump down.
So it's sand.
And that's where it comes out into the back of the trucks. That's a huge tire and wheel. That is big. I don't think I'll fit on the hearse.
Absolutely not. It's like a split rim too.
Yeah.
Watch it fly up and kill someone.
I'll pass on that, thank you. What a great day. I'm going to have a shit show to deal with when I go home, but it is a great day. This is a conveyor that goes up to where they start to mix the material so they can make the concrete. That is so cool. All right, so this was a Rock Hill Concrete Company here in Catasauqua, Pennsylvania. Yeah, Catasauqua. It was on the stampers up there on the address.
That might be their main location.
Well, where's this?
This is Tamaqua.
Oh, this is Tamaqua? Excuse me, this is Tamaqua, not Catasauqua. But this was an abandoned location and roadside find we found. And had a great time exploring it with all the guys. Hope you enjoyed the video and we'll see you later. Have a good one.